So welcome to another episode of Paul's Asian Adventure. Before I start, I want you to understand that the majorities of Filipinas are wonderful, kind, generous, empathetic. Basically, they are very feminine. I can't say enough great stuff about Filipinas. However, there is a subset of Filipinas that can be, how shall I say this? They can be problematic, to say the least. Many times, these problems can be avoided in full by moving slow and setting the frame in the relationship. In this video, I will cover these problematic girls, how to avoid them, and how to turn your relationship around if you are with one of these girls and don't want to move on. As you know, here in the Philippines, dating is relatively cheap. Cost of living is relatively cheap. Food is relatively cheap. The only thing that's kind of expensive is electricity, which is probably double of the US. So all in all, living here is much less than the US. I would say probably from a third to a half of what it is in the US. So what is it that really can cost you if you do not watch out? Well, it is the thing that all straight men desire and pine for. Women, of course. So in this episode, I will cover how it can cost you and how to avoid these traps, especially if you are on a limited budget. But before I continue, I would ask you to please consider liking, subscribing, and please share if you think this video can bring value to other people or just to help my channel grow. Thank you so much for doing that. And oh, by the way, check out Filipina Life with Mia. She has also an awesome channel. So the problem usually starts when you meet a sweet, simple, innocent girl. Well, at least she seems innocent. Now you think to yourself, oh my God, this is amazing. She's a keeper. And you go crazy. You have watched all these videos that tell you take it slow. But you're not thinking with the right head, now are you, buddy? Now you feel like a little kid in a candy store and you just got the motherload of candy. This beautiful, young Filipina with the hot body that you only thought you could achieve in your dreams or when you die and go to heaven is actually now yours. Well, slow it down there, bud, because she might cost you a lot more than you bargained for. This typically happens to guys that move their girlfriend in too quickly. If she is of the controlling type, she will slowly ensure that she becomes your only source of companionship. She will use all sorts of tactics, from tempo to withholding sex to anger, anything to further isolate you. Control the man with the money, that's what she's doing. She will further try to isolate you by moving you away from whatever friends you have left. Preferably, she will try to move you close to her family. That way, her family and friends become your friends and your only source of companionship. Now, you are truly isolated. You are now truly at her mercy. You are the insect entangled in the spider web, and she is the spider. There's no getting away. If you try, she'll more than probably devour you. After she has gotten control she needs over you, well, now it's time for the big money stuff. To build a house and buy land. Of course, it's going to be in her name. As per Filipino law, you can't put it in your name. And why not? You think to yourself, you're helping her family, you're helping her, even her friends. The longer you stay in this relationship, the longer you stay in this abusive relationship, the more you get entangled, both financially and emotionally, with less and less chance to escape. Soon you'll be paying for everything. Dentist, doctors, in the thousands of dollars for her, her family, hell, maybe even her friends. Soon she'll be ordering stuff on Shopee and Lazada. And by the way, Shopee and Lazada is the Amazon of the Philippines. She'll be ordering stuff on Shopee and Lazada without even asking your permission. She will constantly try to make you feel bad for not fulfilling her and her extended family's needs. If you try to deny her, then shaming tactic, tempo, and other control mechanisms will thunder all around you. Even though you did not create the problem, you are expected to solve it. The more you give, the more she will take. It will never end. Believe me, it will never end. So the question is, how do you stop this? And if you are in one of these abusive relationships, how do you get out? How do you gain control again if you decide to stay? I will cover the first question first. How to stop this from happening. The first one is simple. I've said it time and time again in my videos. Take it slow. Date many girls before settling. Once you meet a girl that you think is the one, then move her in slowly. Watch her behavior and give her enough rope to hang herself. Meaning, don't correct everything she does at the start. Instead, watch her true personality inch forward, so you know who you are truly dealing with. Now, before moving her in completely, you have to, and I mean have to, set the frame of the relationship. Tell her what you will and won't tolerate in your all's relationship. Encourage her also to tell you what she wants out of this relationship. And for God's sakes, be honest about it. If you don't want to get married, let her know. If you don't want kids, be honest about that. And please, please, don't string these girls along and waste their time. You know these girls have a limited time to find a good partner. And here in the Philippines, these women have so much competition. So if you find yourself in one of these abusive relationships, I say leave as soon as possible. However, I know that is not easy. We as men, we tend to feel responsible for all kinds of stuff that we are actually not responsible for. We tend to overcomplicate issues that are really very simple. So, if you're not sure what to do, I would suggest trying to get away. Get away from her family, from her friends for a few weeks. Go to a resort. Spend some time alone and figure out what you really want. Switch off your phone so she can't get a hold of you. And whatever you do, do not call her. Just stay strong and enjoy some alone time. Contemplate your life with her and without her. Write down your thoughts and make a plan for what you want. Put yourself first. You only have one life to live. If after a few weeks of contemplation you decide to stay, then you need to be firm in what you want. Write it down so you don't waver. Remember, this will not be easy. I'm telling you, this won't be easy. You have been living in her frame and now you're trying to put her in your frame. This is a very difficult task, especially if you are living close to her family, or even worse, living with her family. Make a plan how to approach your relationship. Write it down. Think about how you will talk to her, how you will change the relationship. Also, to be firm, you have to, and I mean have to, be willing to lose her. What are your non-negotiables? What if she oversteps and begins to misbehave? What will you do? Well, all this needs to be thought through and written down for yourself so that you don't waver under pressure. You have to be firm in your conviction and your wants. You have to be firm in your conviction and your wants for this relationship. It will be hard, but if she truly is someone who loves you, as she professes, and wants to spend the rest of her life with you, then she will make the necessary changes to accommodate your wants and desires. Of course, within reason. If after all that you are still struggling in the relationship, well, it's simply time to jump ship. Like I always say, there are a million others waiting for you. In the end, I will leave you with this quote from Rollo Tomasi. It is always time and effort better spent developing relationships with new, fresh, prospective women than it will ever be in attempting to reconstruct a failed relationship. The choice is yours. With so many wonderful Filipinas, don't get hung up on any one girl. If she's giving you problems, find another one that is more compatible with yourself and more loving, caring, and feminine, as most Filipinas truly are. Well, that brings me to the end of this video. Please remember, the Philippines is a wonderful, beautiful place with lots of great people. Just because you or a friend had a bad experience, it does not mean everyone is like that. My experience here is that most girls are wonderful, a dream to be with. Take care, my friends, and see you on the next video.